fuckers, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be charting SPY. Today is 5/31/2023, it is 5:13 a.m. and real quickly we're just going to go ahead and get our levels charted up. Anyway, without further ado, let's hop into it. Alright, so we're going to hop over here. We're in our TD platform right now, and the first thing we're going to do, we're going to look for any point where price could, make higher highs. Right now, we're kind of in an uptrend, as you can see. Draw this little trend line. I mean, it's pretty, obvious to see, but there's a little uptrend here. Kind of a little wedge, I don't know why. Take the shit right here. Anyway, let me go ahead and start drawing levels, right? So the first thing I'm going to look for is like where price dropped from whenever it was higher. And if we go back, it's already higher than this candle, right? And this is the daily chart, by the way. It's already higher than this candle. Price is already higher than these candles. So the last price before a major drop, the last time, price was at a high before a major drop would be right here, right? We have this high here at 431.73. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring out my little rectangle tool. I'm going to draw a little zone using this very, very last candle that forms this high, right? We're just going to pull this over, and we're using the wicks of the candle, right? The upper wick and the lower wick of the candle, and that's going to be our supply zone, right? So we've got that charted. It looks, everything doesn't have to be exact in trading, but we want things to be accurate. That looks pretty accurate to me. Using the wicks, top of the wick, bottom of the wick, boom, pulled over. That's going to be our supply zone. That's going to be where we're looking for price to push up into. Next thing we're going to do, I'm going to come over here. We're going to look for any lows or any significant lows that just stand out. So within recent times, these lows here stand out to me, right? We have this here, and this here. They'll stand out. And actually, I'll bring out my rectangle tool, and we're gonna use the bottom of this candle and these smaller wicks in here. All right, we're just gonna start it here and pull it over, using the bottom wicks as the bottom of the zone we're drawing. So we'll zoom in so you guys can see that a little bit more clear, right? So we use basically the bottom of this candle. I can extend this out just a little bit, and then wherever price wicked into it, right? So here we wick into it, here we wick into it a little bit, here we wick into it a little bit, here we wick right above it, here this candle closes right above it, this candle wicks right above, this candle wicks into it. So there's a bunch of significant price action right in here, right? Next thing we're going to do, as I said, this is the daily chart. What we're going to do is we're going to use the previous day high and low. So the wicks from the previous day high right here, look at previous day low right here, and those are going to be levels we watch intraday. They're going to be intraday levels. I'm going to move this one up a little bit just so we're a little bit more accurate on that high and low. We're also going to use candle closes low here, or we're going to mark it at least. I'll mark it with a dotted line, and we're going to rename it to previous day close there, and we're going to put the name on the right. Previous day close at 420.10. And we don't really have to mark the open. We're not really going to mark the open because it opened so close to the high of the day. And that's pretty much all we can do on this daily chart here. So we're going to start moving down time frames. In just a moment, we're going to zoom out, see if there's any other significant action we may be able to see. I mean, in the beginning of the video, I did draw this, uptrend line. We could, draw this again. Let's see what that looks like on 4 hour. If it doesn't provide much confluence or evidence or support, on any of these lower levels, we can delete it because we don't want to look at something that may or may not be valid. We want to look at things that are absolutely valid, right? So this zone was a valid zone because if I can zoom out all the way, okay, yeah, no, I can't even go back far enough. But this is a valid zone because price had dropped from it, right? This is where we saw price drop from. This is a valid zone because price comes in here multiple times and rejects heavy upwards, right? So we come down, rejection. Come down here, rejection. Come down, rejection. In here, reject. Rejection. Take off. Come down one more time, rejection, up, boom. So we get strong rejections here. Okay, I was just hearing things. What the fuck? Shit kind of creepy. So I believe we can leave this trend line here, right? Boom. Let's zoom in here. So we have previous day low. I'll rename all these for you. Inside price level 2. Previous day low. Shutting on the right. And previous day high. Boom. Okay, I forgot to do this. Show name on the right. So now we're on the 4-hour, so we'll be looking for significant price action within recent time for levels and zones, right? Here we have our previous day's close. We have a little bit of significant price action around the close. You know, that's a good sign because it's a level we already drew. We see price, you know, basically comes here and wicks off. Comes here, opens right above, and then drops right under. So this, the close, the previous day close, 420.10. Yeah, could be an interesting spot to watch price, right? And then we have the previous day low. It is pre-market right now, so we do have a little bit of pre-market action happening here. So if price were to drop under 418.69, where would we want to look for price to come into? Well, we could use this big ass green candle here as a reference. You know, maybe if price were to drop under here, we could drop, you know, anywhere within this green candle here, right? Which, as you see, we're already within this green candle. So if price were to come below 418.69 here, we'll potentially see price come down here to 415.96. And all I'm doing for this is just using wherever I've seen or wherever I see price wicking, right? So we have a wick here, we have a wick here, relatively close to this one. And then we have this candle wick here, which is right at the top of this candle, right? Right at the top of this wick. And make that a little bit more clear for you guys to see. I'll throw up this price level here, right? So we have this wick here, boom, this wick here, and we have this wick here. I'm sure if we go over, you know, we'll see. We probably wicked here a couple more times, right? So let's extend to the left. Boom, here it is again. Wicks at this level. Closes right here at this level. And then opens under, goes a little bit under. Opens under, closes above, and once it closes above, boom, we shoot up. Now here's a little bit more significant action. At this level, once again, we come, we open, we close right at the level, rejection, strong rejection too. And like even more action. And this is going all the way back into January, February. Right, we look down here. All this price action happened in January, February, right around 415, 416, 415.92, 416-ish area. So 415.92 could be an interesting area to watch. 415.92/416, I'll say. We could make this a small zone, honestly. Which, as a matter of fact, I think I will do. Mark this, use bottom of this wick, top of this wick, and just pull this over. And we'll only worry about it for the day. It's like, why not? Alright, so we pulled it over. This is going to be our daily session here, all the way up into after hours here. We want to watch to see if we can get down into this little price range here. And that's going to be a downside, right? So if we close under, we'd like to see price, try to make its way into here. And if price were to close under here, we'd look for it to come to this trend line here. Okay. And below this trend line, we look for it to come. Yeah, I did just burp, excuse me. But if we were to close below this trend line, which, it's highly unlikely that we move that much in one day, right? But, just let's say by some fucking miracle that does happen. And we do fuck up this zone here. We do come fuck up this trend line here. Next spot, we would look for price to bounce us down here in this zone. Right, so that's going to be all of our downside levels, and then upside, once again, we're going to be looking to get above previous day's close, right? Which right now in the pre-market we're not doing. Right, this is pre-market right now. We're not above previous day's close. Previous day's close is here. And after hours, we kind of just said, fuck that. Dropped under that shit. And then pre-market right now, we're not getting above it. Or we haven't so far. So our targets for the upside would be first, get above previous day's close. We get above previous day's close. We look for price to come up here to 422.54. And then above 422.54. I mean, we could mark the high, right? 422.54, but then the next high would be 422.99, and that's only 45 cents. Yeah, that's only a 45 cent swing, which is, that's not even significant on SPY. And SPY moves dollars a day, right? At least like $1, $2, $3 a day. Sometimes 5, sometimes 7. But for the most part, SPY will usually move $1 to $2 a day, sometimes even less than that. So with this being 45 cents, not even that significant from the high of this day. It's not even that significant of a price to watch. So we're not even gonna waste our time marking that, right? So we look for price to get above 422.54, and above 422.54, we have this zone up here at 426. Anywhere up here, But first, we'd have to get above previous day close. So we'd look for price to get above 420.10, previous day's close, right? And we'd look for it to come up to here, 422.54. And here at 422.54, we can either show resistance, right? We probably bounce back down if we get the resistance there. Or if we have strength, we break above this level and we go into this zone. And then opposite for the downside, right? So below previous day low, 418.69. We close under there. We look for price to come to this zone here. And if price does get to this zone, we look for price to reject off of this zone, right? Reject off the zone and go up. We could stall here at this zone and just kind of move sideways. Or we could break under this zone and move down towards this trend line. We move light, and then we could even move, we don't even have to make it all the way to the trend line. We do have a little bit of significant price here, but not too significant for me to mark on the chart because we have the zone we'd have to worry about first. I mean, I can leave this here right, 413.56, but that's $5 away. And sometimes it happens, but it's like unlikely. Like, all right, so right here, 4:15. We opened at 4:15 on Friday, and we closed at 4:20. Right. So basically $5 swing right there. But within recent times, you know, it's not as likely. Let's see. Here we open at 417. Here we close 414, $3. Here we open at 414 and we close at 419. There's $5. You know, sometimes we do get the $5 swings, but most days we're within that $3 swing range. Maybe we'll leave this little level here, just because we do have a little bit of price action here. And that does give me a target to watch if we were to break this. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll leave this line here, right? So there's another downside low level to watch. But first we'd have to get through the support. Or, I mean, yeah, I guess you could call it support zone or supply zone, I guess, demand zone, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I just call these fucking zones, to be honest. This one is clearly a supply zone, right? There was a lot of selling here after it. This one's a demand zone because once price is here, you know, there's a lot of demand for SPY here. Here, you really want to, you wouldn't say there's a lot of demand here because there's no strong impulses that happen here. But there is a lot of price here. So I would call this like a significant level to watch. 413.56. Yeah, I guess that could be a significant level to watch, right? You could even make it a little zone. Yeah, it would just be like a significant zone. It wouldn't be, you know, strong support or a supply or demand zone. Like even this one right here. This one is a small zone, but I want to call it supply or demand. Just say in a significant zone. So that's what we'll call it. We'll call it a significant zone. So we do have another little significant zone here, as we were just mentioning, right? Just slight, ever so slight significance. And that could be another little zone to watch, right? Price could end up anywhere between here, anywhere between here, or to the upside up here. And that's pretty much what we're going to be watching for. Watching it happen. Watching for on SPY for the 31st. Let's go down to hourly chart. I'm going to do this exact same thing on futures as well as SPX once I finish recording. The recording's just getting a little bit long, and it'll just be repetitive. You know, I'm sure I'll upload more videos in the future because I've already done one of these videos before in the past where I just mark levels and chart out levels. So I'm sure I'll do more of these videos, you know, in the future. You guys will, you know, you'll watch them and you'll see I'm doing the same shit over and over and over and over. So I don't want to bore you guys to death within this one video doing the same thing over for 3 different charts. So we'll keep it one chart for this video. Here we are on the 1 hour. We're just trying to see if our levels hold any significance, hold any, you know, truth to them. Right, so if we extend this over, we have a price wick down into here. A little interesting action here. Price wick up into here, and then drops, comes down to this demand zone here, comes back into this significant zone here. You know, interesting action here. We get above. Now while we're in between these two zones, we just kind of bounce around between these two zones. So these two zones are a significant price action to watch for. And then here we get above, as you see. All right, so look, Friday we're at this lower zone. Once we leave this lower zone, where do we move into? We move into this higher zone here. We reject ever so slightly, and then market opens. We just fucking blow past it. Right. Yesterday happens. We have our yesterday's levels. Once again, here we are. This is what we're watching for. Watch for price to break under here and move into here. And below here, we can move into here. Below here, we could see this trend line. Yeah, we could touch this trend line here. We could move up again, We could break under this trend line. We could go to this demand zone, and you know, opposite thing for the upside. We break above here. We look for price to come up to here. Previous day's high. We break previous day's high. We look to make higher highs up to this supply zone here. And that's pretty much going to conclude this video. So if you guys did enjoy, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow, retweet, wherever you guys seeing this video at. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. That's how I chart SPY. These are going to be the levels I'm watching for Thursday, May 31st. And I guess I'll see you guys at market open. Peace.